late. I was at the store trying to get stuff for Thanksgiving tomorrow. I don't know. I am 3+Kei. I'm here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. And this space right here, the title of this live stream and who we are is the Secret Heart Club. And we exist for the oddball Christians and the Christ curious to come together in community. And there's a theme song. Sing it with me. Welcome to the Secret Heart Club. Everyone does their part to bring love, be loved. Hey, we love Jesus at the Secret Heart Club. We're going to do some Bible roulette. We're going to do some Bible roulette today. Prayerfully, everybody's days went well. I had so many reminders today of what I'm doing and the Lord's call on my life. It was just heavy in enforcement today, and I'm pretty grateful. People want to help. People want to help with the James house, and I think that's crazy. And as time goes on, I'm able to kind of fill in the picture, such as, now we have a number. Now we have a number to strive for. We have two numbers. First number is 450,000. Second number is 458,000. Together, roughly, it's $1 million, and it doesn't even have to be that, right? Like, my salary as executive director, if I were to be able to make income instead by YouTube or some other means, then the salary could go down and this type of thing. But just kind of thinking through in an age where we all have jobs, right? In an age where we all have jobs and we need to live and survive in this country, of the many unique approaches of the James House, Montana, of the many unique approaches toward people of the James House, Montana, I think when we say a livable wage in Montana, I think that equates to about $20 an hour. $20 an hour is also in Montana what the average college graduate makes. So, right, if we want high quality people, common sense would tell you, right, that we would exceed the $20 an hour and actually make that wage competitive, right? So imagine you were a part-time activities director. Do you know what the going rate in Montana is? I think it's $15 to $18 an hour, right? So like somebody out of high school could be an activities director and get hired under that title for $18 an hour. All I'm saying is, and this isn't set in stone, what we would like to do with the James House, Montana, is hire an activities director at $25 an hour, because the result, right, is a quality activities program. The expectation, if you're being paid that much, is to over deliver. And I think that's what a lot of jobs get wrong. a lot of corporations get wrong. People, they call it quiet quitting, and nobody's quiet quitting. They're just looking at their job description and they're doing that, and they're not doing much else. So in reviewing the positions at the James House executive director, who would be me, but to think like I want to get out of that job as quickly as possible. So if I'm okay with paying myself 100K a year when I'm done and the next person comes, will it all of a sudden be more of like a 75K job a year? So I'm kind of thinking about that. And we have the executive director, which I would love to fill. I would not like that job. It would be something I would be fulfilling for the time being. A teacher, activities director, the house parents, of course. And I didn't know, in the United States, the minimum kind of that they found for house parents is about 30K a year, which is super low for a couple. I would hope that they have other benefits accompanying that. The highest one I found is $117,000 a year for that couple. But again, do we know that they're paying for their benefits package as well? So just a thought I have that I would really like to execute is a premium focus on the benefits packages that people are receiving. The way you will get in debt in this country, statistically, like the way that'll ruin you, medical debt, because it's unexpected. Your school debt, you already knew that was coming, and maybe or maybe not, you can handle it. Medical debt, it came out of nowhere, baby. Cancer on average is 50K a year. And who knows how long you'll be doing, putting up with that. You know what I mean? So I think this model has been used in other, and forgive me, I'm kind of nerding out on you guys. This model has been used, the benefits package model first. And so what that could look like is a benefits package worth what I've seen between $20,000 and $45,000. So even if, let's say, you're a benefits director and you're getting paid $18 an hour, which puts you at about a little under 40K a year. If you had like the best benefits package available to you at part-time, let's say that's another 20,000. So really you're making 65K a year. And I think that's more than fair. And the expectations then could be very, very high for what your output is toward the organization. But that's a thing I'm kind of tossing around. And then of course we need somebody to give us a house. Night Viper says, "You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything." Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Angie says, "Hi, my name is Sophia." Hey, Sophia. All right, let's do a little Bible roulette. Okay. You guys know what that is? It's when we choose, well, because I'm the one here with my finger and myself. You'll see. I'm gonna pick a random Bible verse and then kind of dig into it with commentary, add some perspective, and then we're gonna get up on out of here. All right. We're gonna do this thing, and tomorrow I have something of like a secret surprise. Something of a secret surprise if everything goes the way it's supposed to go. So stay tuned for that. What up, nerd? Hey, Poppy. Poppy coming in hot. Per usual. I look forward to becoming just like a really super duper big deal, right? I look forward to just being like so privileged in every space. So Poppy can come in and just dunk on me. Just dunk on me. I look forward. I think everybody needs a Poppy in their life, to be honest. All right, we're going to do it. Oh, my dinosaur. My dinosaur dropped. I was just at the store and people looked so like not jolly. Do you know, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to tell you something. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas. That coming in hot. I don't celebrate no ho ho ho, no reindeer. I don't do none of that. I don't do birthdays. I'll tell you happy birthday, but I'm not getting you nothing. I don't do anything somebody is telling me to do for the person when it comes to me spending my own money. And so the for me are just always such a serious time, and I will get together with people just for the sake of like the whole country shuts down. So what else are you going to do? Poppy says it's okay. I'm celebrated. I'm celebrated enough for the both of us. Good. I'm real. And I always try not to be that person around Thanksgiving that's like, look it up. Look what happened the next day. The very, very next day, look what happened. Look what they did. So I don't get stressed around the holidays. At all. Every year for like the last 14 years, I've been doing the what I call the Kwanzaa project. And that's because I live in Montana and ain't no black folk out here. And Kwanzaa's legit. If you don't know, Kwanzaa is a holiday celebrated by African Americans specifically, but anybody can get in on this, you know. And there's 7 days of that you acknowledge, 7 principles you acknowledge on the 7 days, starting the day after Christmas. So the first day is Umoja on December 26th. The first day is Umoja. Umoja means community. Focus on the community, what you can do to contribute and better your community. And then there's like Kuji Chagalia, which is self-determination, Nia, which is purpose. And like every day you just kind of like focus in on a principle of how you can be, you don't have to suck. Quit sucking. That's Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa says don't suck, be a better person. You have a community around you. Look alive. That's like basically Kwanzaa. And there's some pretty colors and candles in there. So anyway, nobody knows what Kwanzaa is here. And instead of just running up on people and telling them about Kwanzaa, because who am I, right? About 12 years ago or 14 years ago, I started to select a nonprofit in our community, right? And then for 7 days, because we would start on Umoja, which means unity in your community. For 7 days, we would raise money or whatever for that nonprofit. And I try to be creative. So like the very first year, there's a place called Watson's here, which is a children's shelter, and like a children's emergency shelter, right? Some kids are like scared, and and so one of the things on their wish list was chapstick. So we raised like hundreds of chapsticks for Watson's. Another time was like socks for the homeless. The homeless shelter is the Poverello. So we did that, and it was like warm wool socks. We're not doing like with the chapstick Dollar Tree. We didn't knock that off, because people, they'll be like, oh, I'm giving, and it's like, how are you going to give the cheapest thing ever? Do you know what I mean? Like, you pass the Salvation Army ring a ding ding lady, and all you find like only your pennies, and then you keep your nickels and your dimes and your quarters. It's like, that ain't about nothing. What you doing? I didn't accept that. You had to do quality chapsticks. And then the socks were like wool or something for homeless people. Think about it. And so we've been going in that vein. And then this year, I haven't picked a person or an organization. I say all that to say the Kwanzaa project is what will stress me out. Not what do I buy grandma that is going to break down in the next few years anyway, or like what can I buy my kids? What? Like, it doesn't really like translate to me, to be honest, but yeah, Kwanzaa project's coming up. I'm thinking of not doing it. And if you hear me out, the James House, Montana exists. So how smart is it? How wise is it to raise money for another nonprofit when I have one that's established now? So that's kind of the tension with it. I did think, and it'll be a God thing if it happens, there's a little girl named, I think I told you guys about her. It's a little girl named Celeste. And Celeste is 8 years old. And since she was 6 years old, at 6 she was introduced to Egypt, and she's an Egypt fanatic. Like, other little girls want to like play around on the weekends or whatever. She wants to go to like archaeologist seminars at 8. She wants to go to this type of stuff and meet like her favorite historian and stuff like that. And so anyway, her mom told her when Celeste turns 8, they can go to Egypt if Celeste pays for her part. Because we are, after all, social workers and ain't making money like that. Like, we're not making Egypt money. We ain't got the McDonald's money. And so anyway, Celeste is selling she does crafts and stuff, and so does her mom. And I thought about doing like a Kwanzaa project to raise money for Celeste to go to Egypt I think just as soon as they have the money, they can go. That's pretty valid to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of these people that's like, shut up. I like to tell people to shut up. And what I tell people to shut up about is like, they want to complain about drug use and crime and whatever else that comes with like messed up people. And what I'll tell you to shut up about is, do you have any children in your life at all? Like, are you giving a gift certificate to a foster parent? Are you like, how are you? Because the criminals of today were once kids that we overlooked. You know this, right? This is what I would tell people. You understand this, right? Like, when we like the kids have to pay, the kids that are too poor, they can't afford their lunch or whatever, and they can't pay for their food, so their thing gets cut off, their account gets cut off, and then they can't eat the lunch. It's like, are you like, people are cool with that? And then the kid gets behavior problems. If you didn't know how this works, then the kid has behavior problems because hunger will tear you up, or they can't sleep, or whatever the case. And then they have something going on at home anyway, that mom and or dad can't provide a basic peanut butter sandwich for them. Do you see what I'm saying? And so that kid right there, what are you doing? Because statistically, in 5-10 years, they're gonna rob you. Or they're gonna like press you or do something weird. I just you know. So anyway, I say all that to say, whenever I can support a kid doing something positive, I do it. And I was one of those kids. I was a really bright child. And last grade I finished before getting my first degree. Last grade I finished was 6th grade. Nobody ever knew that about me. I didn't graduate high school. I got my GED. I went through my 20s. I went through my 30s, and I worked so well and so hard. When I got hired, people would just be like, don't tell anybody you don't have a degree, until I almost got kind of like tricked into getting a degree. But anyway, I was like a straight A student. And then in 7th grade, me and my friend Christina got caught shoplifting at a store called Venture. Right? And I was the star in the school play. It was like the theme was Friends, and I was Rachel. Right? My mom pulled me out of the play as a punishment. So I say, when kids are doing something good, keep them on that good track. And then when I was 13, and this is where it all went downhill. I was back in school again. I was getting suspended all the time, true enough. I had a bad mouth on me. But anyway, my ex-boyfriend said F you to me. This is in 8th grade. It all went downhill right here. He said F you to me from across the room, and the cooking teacher, Miss Kelly, said, Lakeitha, because 13, your voice hasn't dropped yet. So she just assumed it was me, took me to the principal's office. The vice principal knew my mom and called her, and I had a babysitting job at the time. All my friends were smoking weed and doing drugs. And you know what I was doing just so I would fit in was I would smoke cigarettes. To fit in, because I still had to go to the babysitting job, and you're not going to mess up my money like that, right? So anyway, Mr. Michelin, that was his name. Mr. Michelin called my mom. I came home, and my mom was like, call that lady up. You're not babysitting anymore. And that was my punishment. So I was doing something good, and that was taken away. And this is what happened. I looked at my mom. I called that lady. Her name was Susan. And she would give me like books to read and stuff like that. I turned around. I walked down the street, which was like a block away, to my friend Andy's house. And I smoked weed for the first time. And this is why I'm so passionate about kids like this. Within a 6-month period, I was having sex, I was smoking weed, I was drinking, and I was doing drugs. Just like that. And then I did turn into a criminal for a little bit. But it's not me in my heart. A little bit of a sweetheart. You know what I mean? Look after these kids. You got to look after them. Lord Poppy says they stupid cute. Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, we're about to wrap up here. I just gave you guys my whole autobiography. Getting sentimental. That's not what we came here for. Let's do a quick whoop-de-whoop. Okay, we're going to hit it on this side. You ready? You ready? Hit it. Boom, boom, right here. Okay, we're Amos. Y'all, I clear forgot Amos was in this book. I forgot. Y'all remember Amos? Be honest. Be honest. How famous is Amos? Keep it real. You forgot Amos was in there too. Amos 5, verse 23. Oh, see, our time is up, but let's do it. Amos 5:23. Take away from me the noise of your songs. I will not even listen to the sound of your harp. See, the messed up thing about it, you can't see it because y'all probably don't have your Bible out. Me is capitalized, meaning this is the Lord talking. Take away from me. I'm the Lord. Take away from me the noise of your songs. I will not even listen to the sound of your harps. What could possibly be going on right here? All right, let's look at it. 5:23. What? And there's no context? There's no commentary? There's a little bit, 21 through 24. When performed with a corrupt heart, even the savored festivals and offerings were despised by the Lord. So somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. And the Lord wasn't with it. Okay, let's, I'm sorry, I just talked your ear off, guys. I'm sorry. Let's do Amos 5:23 context. You ready? The little button's not done. Here we go. The context of 5:23 is a powerful indictment from God against the northern kingdom of Israel for their hypocritical, corrupted, and empty religious practices that were divorced from social justice. The verse itself reads, "Take away from me the noise of your songs. I will not listen to the melody of your harps." Here is a breakdown of the text. The immediate context, which is 5:21 through 24. Amos 5:23 is the climax of God's rejection of Israel's worship, which begins 2 verses earlier. Hello, and 21 and 22, rejection of rituals. God states, I despise your feasts, and I take no delight in your solemn assemblies. Even though you offer me your burnt offerings and grain offerings, I will not accept them. Keep them. Keep them. The Israelites were diligently carrying out all the required religious rites, the festivals, the sacrifices, the offerings, in the worship centers of the north. So they were where they weren't supposed to be, doing the most. Similar to the money changers. Remember Jesus? He went, wah! Stop it. Remember that? In the temples? They were also somewhere they weren't supposed to be. All right, we're looking at rejection of music, which is what happened right here in 5:23. God singles out their music, calling it noise and refusing to listen to their instruments. Don't play that mess for me. Music, which was meant to be an expression of joy and sincere devotion, had become nothing more than a burden to him because of the hypocrisy of the worshipers. You know what this reminds me of is how we look at kind of like secular music right now. We shouldn't be listening. Like, that's something people would say. It's like, and I'm not, this isn't an indictment on it, but I'm just saying something we would say as Christians is don't listen to secular music. Only listen to worship music or praise music or whatever. But what this is saying, when the Lord is rejecting the music in 23, he's calling it noise, not so much of like the content itself, but the heart of the people who are listening to it. In other words, they were playing their music to honor God. They wanted God to think this music. So I'm gonna put it in the way we are in America. So I'm putting out this worship music, and I'm putting out this like la 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 Lord, I love you. La 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 Lord, I love you. You know what I mean? So we're kind of like put stuff like that out, and we're in the whorehouse. We're watching porn. We're slapping our family members around, but la 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 Lord, I love you. But our hearts, we are hypocrites, right? And I would say, not for nothing, that maybe you could listen to, and I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying maybe real people who have real connections with the Lord, like they really be doing the Bible app and prayer room type vibes, right? Maybe those types of people who are locked in with the Lord listen to Britney Spears too. You picking up what I'm putting down? Marco says drug murder references for 24 hours straight every day. I wouldn't know. And also to that point, I don't think you're lying. I'm just saying I personally don't listen to the radio is why I wouldn't know. But are they, because I always like, there's two groups. There's two camps. Okay? There's two camps. There's believers and there's unbelievers. And sometimes you see somebody acting like they don't, like the Lord's not with them, but they kind of already told you that in the way that they move anyway. Do you know what I mean? So a snake is going to be a snake. Not saying unbelievers are snakes, but just as an example, a snake is going to be a snake. So if a snake says hiss and I bite people and then it hisses at you and bites people, that's a little bit to be expected. So in the way of many of the industries, like the entertainment industry and all of its derivations of acting and songs and Broadways and all this stuff, they never supposed that they were godly industries. Where my concern, and I know people have different concerns, right? Where my concern lays is you said you were with the Lord and you have no fruits. And that's what this scripture is saying, Amos 5:23. The God is saying, like, your music is la 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 Lord, I love you. but you're not acting like it, and so you're being hypocritical. So just to read that again, Amos 5:23 is, for behold, he who forms mountains and sorry, I was at Amos 4. It's at Amos 4. Amos 5:23. Take away from me the noise of your songs. I will not even listen to the sound of your harps, because you are hypocritical worshipers. Singing, and then what you doing on the side? Okay. Lord ain't with that. The divine demand, verse 24, God then reveals the true requirement that was missing. But let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. The historical context: the prophet Amos prophesied to the northern kingdom of Israel during a great time of prosperity under King Jeroboam II. I smooth read that. Jeroboam II. The problem... Ooh, I know, I told y'all we were getting out of here. The problem, this prosperity has led to rampant corruption, greed, and social injustice. The wealthy and powerful were taxing the destitute unfairly. It sounds a little familiar. Taking bribes in the courts and oppressing the poor and innocent. The hypocrisy: the people thought they could appease God with extravagant, meticulous, religious ceremonies like Christmas. Oh, that wasn't in there. That's my bad. I wasn't in there. The people thought they could appease God with extravagant, meticulous religious ceremonies, meaning the feast, the offerings, and the loud music, while simultaneously exploiting and ignoring the poor and marginalized. It's like when you're in the season of giving and you walk past the homeless people on the street. They believe their rituals would guarantee God's favor and protection. That ain't how that went though, huh? The theological message, the central message of Amos 5:23 in the whole passage is that sincere worship is inseparable from righteous action and social justice. It's similar to like what flows from the heart comes out of the mouth. That's why you can't, like, sometimes people do misspeak or they say the wrong thing, but somebody who's just like kind of mean spirited, you know, this like sarcastic thing people do, not around me. You can't be, I will drop you so fast with that sarcastic, the blunt, because it's like, why are you talking like that? Why don't, why, when you think of words being as sweet as honeycomb, and I'm standing in front of you, why does it not, you know? That's why it's important. And I always stand by this. And it's important for us to recognize there's the two camps. There are believers and there are unbelievers. And if someone says they are Christ's side, as Christians, the way we judge them, you know, is by their fruits. Can we see it? And nobody's perfect, right? You might have all the self-control, right? Like a military guy, you might have all the self-control, but you might struggle with like kindness or something like that. So like nobody's at 100%, but there should be some type of evidence that the Lord is flowing through you, right? People who don't proclaim the name of Christ, it's a little like, well, what do you expect? Respectfully, respectfully. But what do you expect? They're on their own like moral code of like, I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me and I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Sincere worship is inseparable from righteous action and social justice. Ritual without relationship is repugnant. Hello, come on now. Come on. Ritual without relationship is repugnant. God makes it clear that he judges the heart and the hands. Uh-oh, I haven't heard that before. I've never heard that before. Oh, that sounds so good. God makes it clear that he judges the heart and the hands of the worshiper, not the volume or beauty of their ceremony. Their worship was empty because it did not result in obedience to God's covenant law to love their neighbor. Because if you say that the Lord is with you, you are in relationship with Jesus Christ. You're the one that said it. You're the one that said it, not me. I was just standing here. Your relationship with Jesus Christ should result in obedience to his covenant law to love your neighbor. Justice is true worship. For God, the true demonstration of their devotion was not the smoke or the burnt offering or the melody of the heart. La la la. La 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 la, Lord, I love you. Right? You do that all day. What does it mean, Cletus? For God, the true demonstration of their devotion was not the smoke of the burnt offering or the melody of the harp, but the daily, constant, and abundant flow of justice and righteousness in their society, like a river that never dries up. If we were doing this thing right, our society would not look the way that it is. But we might have a control issue to some degree in our society. In essence, God was telling Israel, stop singing to me. Hello. La 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 la, Lord, I love you. Stop singing to me and start acting justly. Your religious performance is meaningless while you ignore the oppression around you. Hello. All right. Goodbye. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right. I think we're doing what? Ecclesiastes. I think we're on Ecclesiastes 6. She's not a coworker, like a colleague, you know, when you work around town and you develop colleagues. She texted me today because her and her other people she does like daily Bible stuff with, their discipleship group, they stumbled across this channel yesterday. And so she was saying, she texted me this morning and she was like, instead of doing our normal they're in Colossians, we watched your video on Ecclesiastes. And I just really appreciated that. And I really appreciate truly like any type of encouragement that comes my way. Because you see, there's like 3. And for me, like that's, it might sound crazy, but that's okay with me. Like who's meant to be here is here. I don't feel the need to like, somebody asked me once on this channel, like, do you want to be famous? And I'm like, Actually, no. I think that sounds terrible. But for who does stumble across the channel, for who does see or purchase Pursue the Smile merch, for those who are offering information and help with the James House, Montana, um, I'm very grateful. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, I think this is what I'm doing with my life. So it just kind of adds like a, hey, keep going, start this group home, create community, you know, that kind of thing. So, just grateful for you guys. See you tomorrow. Or if not, I know it's Thanksgiving. You're probably like doing your thing. We're here every single night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And, um, yeah, happy holidays. Have a good night.